how does TCM and the biblical worldview, how can traditional Chinese medicine fit into the biblical worldview, and vice versa? Because a lot of times when people hear that in the Christian world, they immediately just put up a guard, like, no, this is wrong. But how does it fit into the biblical worldview, or does it contradict? What have you found?
Yeah, it's such a good question. So I can remember when I first told my father that, a couple of decades ago, I was going to be studying Chinese medicine. And he was like, "Well, I'm not so sure about that. Isn't that spiritual?" And at the time, I was like, "Well, I kind of don't think so." But what I basically learned along the way is that healing is inherently spiritual.
Yeah,
And
it is.
and so it's sort of the question is, what is the spiritual intent, in my opinion, of the provider that you're going to see? Because
Yes.
there's not a religion about Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine
Hmm.
came up, like I mentioned, over thousands of years. And so the Chinese culture, of course, was subject to the whims of different ideologies, whether that was at times, some of the strange esoteric things that went along with the Taoist belief systems, or whether that
Hmm.
was the values and morals of a Confucianist society. Chinese medicine had its writers who made commentaries on these things and sometimes believed or didn't believe in them. But for the most part, it was a very secular by nature sort of science. In fact, the earliest founders of Chinese medicine really valued their approach to science by studying nature. And so
Yes.
that is inherently woven in, and it's not a worship or idolization of nature. It's more of a reverence of and understanding how human bodies are like nature. And so
Yes.
I think that they develop systems for understanding the internal workings of all the different organ systems that mirrored certain concepts of not only nature but seasonality, and how there's
Hmm.
an ebb and flow within all of your internal organs, and how they should be matching up with certain energetics of whether it's times of day or seasons, or I guess what we could call them is sometimes resonances.